Did you critics out there really say that the Flash movie was the best comic book movie of all time? You guys must have been smoking some real good kryptonite when you watched that movie. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Beta J. Back like I left something, and I'm glad you're here. Yes, I'm glad you're here. And this right here is the Flash movie spoilers review. I really don't believe in doing spoiler free because I talk too much, and at the same time, I want to tell you guys how I feel about all the movie. And best believe I'm going to tell you all about the movie. I want to give a quick shout out to a critic out there named Jeff Snyder, because he was the only critic out there that seen this movie way back then with the other critics, and he kept it real, and he said that this movie right here is utter and complete trash, and I absolutely agree with him. Now, is it good parts in this movie? Sure. To a comic book fan, it's some things that did pop out, but at the same time, I will tell you this movie was a complete mess. The CGI was complete trash. It was no story. The story was all together, jumping up and thrown away. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't even a villain in this bad boy. Not one that was consistent, you know? But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the good, because it ain't that much good, but we definitely going to get into the bad. But before we get into that, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell. Because when you hit that notification bell, it makes your boy Beta J feel oh so good and oh so swell. And what is equally important is all that. Watch this video from the beginning all the way to the end. It helps me out. It's free. It helps me out in the algorithm. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know what the algorithm really is, but I do. I'm not going to go into it, but if you watch this video from the beginning to the end, it helps me out greatly. Now, let's get into this, man. So, when it comes to this movie, I just want to tell you one thing that took me out in the very beginning of this. It was the CGI. Now, a lot of people are saying the CGI was on point, but even Andy Muschietti said himself that the VFX was supposed to look bad on the purpose. Well, I'm going to tell you something, sir. The VFX does look bad. You did a great job. If that was your goal, to make the VFX look bad, then trust me, sir, I gotta give you kudos. Because that baby scene, when you had Flash in the beginning of the movie saving those babies out of that collapsing building, the babies did not even look real. Didn't look real at all. The CGI is definitely, I'm telling you, it's like they shot this movie and put up a green screen all the way through. With no practical sets. With no real sets out there. Sets. I'm saying S-E-T-S. I'm not saying other words. I know my Texas accent can throw you off a little bit. But, you know, I'm trying to tell you guys, YouTube, I'm trying to be nice, you know? But, yeah, the CGI is terrible. They rushed this movie. I don't know who did the VFX behind this, but you rushed it. You did an awful job. It took me out. I didn't feel like I was in this Flash world. I didn't feel like the things that I seen was believable. It can be done. Trust me, it can be done. So the VFX, trust me, when you go watch this movie, if you plan to watch this movie, be prepared to see a lot of green screen type scenes. And it's probably 70%, 80% of the movie. Now, another thing that I want to point out too is the cameos. The cameos, you had people to pop up like Wonder Woman. You had Ben Affleck, Batman. The thing about this movie here, now you would think based off the trailers, this movie is centered around Michael Keaton, Sasha Calle, Supergirl, Ezra Miller Flash, and the Flash that's in the alternate universe. No, Sasha Calle and Michael Keaton only really play minor roles. They only pop up in the third act of this movie. This main movie is focused on the two Barrys. The Barry that's in our universe, the DCEU universe, and then the alternate Barry. And can I say this about those two characters? The 18-year-old Barry, he's meant for the kids, and he's very annoying. The Barry that's in our universe, he's annoying, but then he starts to mature towards this movie. To the point he matured so much, he was boring. He was a boring protagonist. He was very boring as a main villain. A main hero. Somebody that we're supposed to be taking a journey with. This guy was very boring. He didn't have really a goal. I mean, I know his goal was to go back in time and save his mama, blah, 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 blah. But it just wasn't fun. This character did not inspire me. When I watch these hero films, I want to be inspired. I wasn't inspired by him. To truthfully be honest, I was nodding off in this movie, and I was thinking about doing other things while watching this movie, and I kept watching my phone to see when this movie was going to be over. I kept checking what time it is. So, step it up. Now, we're going to get into the story. The story, I can sum it up real quick, real fast. Barry is feeling some type of way about his father being in prison. He knows that his father is not supposed to be in there. He's an innocent man. So, pretty much, Barry goes back in time and try to save his mother. While he does that, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? And this is not logic. This has been done in Back to the Future. This has been done in Endgame. When you go back in time, what happens, ladies and gentlemen? You mess up the timeline and then blah, blah, blah. All this stuff happens. This has been done. When they spent millions on top of millions making this movie, why wasn't the script different from other things we've seen already? Come on, bro. This movie is trash. Trash. Shout out to the Marginai. Oh, the story. So, of course, Barry goes in time. He meets his other self in the timeline. He loses his power. He loses powers in this timeline. They see that General Zod is arriving on Earth. Now, if the timeline has changed and you have a different Supergirl and all this stupid crap, why do you still have the same General Zod? I think this movie was trying to course correct Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Snyderverse, but it did a terrible job if you're trying to change or fix something. And to be honest, I'm a Zack Snyder fan. Nothing needed to be fixed in this. That's why this movie turned out to be so awful and worse than it was. But they find out that General Zod is coming to Earth. Barry is trying to find other Justice League members. He finds out that it is a Batman in this universe and ends up being Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton ends up helping them find Supergirl. Well, they were looking for Superman, and they tried to break him out of prison because he got caught when his ship came down. Turned out not to be Superman. It ended up being a Supergirl, which was Henry Cavill, Superman's cousin. They have this big fight against Zod. Michael Keaton end up dying. Michael Keaton, Batman. Sasha Calle, Supergirl, end up dying fighting General Zod. And then they realized in the timeline, Barry and stupid Barry, they kept going back in time trying to save their friends, and they end up dying every single time. Then they came to the realization, hey, we need to quit doing this. The mature Barry, the smart Barry, he finds out and realizes that, hey, I shouldn't have been doing this the whole time. Ben Affleck Batman in the beginning told me that I was making a big mistake, and I realized I made a mistake. Let me go say goodbye to my mom and then fix everything. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. The movie was completely over. Story is crappy. I promise you. The way that I put it together is exactly the way they put it together in this movie. Now, good things about this, because I told you guys I was going to say some good things about this film. The good things, I love Ben Affleck Batman scenes in this. It wasn't many. It was definitely small. It was the beginning of the movie. I loved it. It just looked so dope. The fight scenes with Michael Keaton Batman was dope. His airship battle, the Batwing battle with the Kryptonians, General Zod's army, that was absolutely dope. But pretty much after that, nothing else stood out. I mean, you know, the battles with General Zod and the Flash boys, the two Flash, the mature Flash and the stupid Flash. That was alright, but nothing else. Now, let me tell you guys the bad, because it's plenty of bad. It's plenty of trash. The bad things in this movie, bad things in this film. The disrespect of old DC movies. I know that they were trying to pay homage to these movies, but you did a terrible job. Christopher Reeve Superman popped up. You had Henry Cavill Superman popped up. He looked terrible. You had Nicolas Cage Superman pop up. He looked terrible. You even had the Superman wave back in the Gap. The one that started it all with the black and white. He looked trash. Don't do that no more. Please don't do that no more. If your CGI is not on point, then don't do that at all. Don't touch it, because it's disrespectful. You tried to pay homage, and I know what you tried to do, DC, Eddie Machete, Christina Hudson, whatever your name is. She writes horrible movies. I know what you tried to do. You tried to get that Thor. You tried to get that Captain America catching Thor's hammer type of vibe, and it just didn't fly. I wanted this movie to hurry up and be done. It was just so awful, I wasn't excited about Wonder Woman popping up in this movie. I wasn't excited. I wasn't excited about seeing George Clooney showing up at the end of this movie like that was the big post-credit reveal. I didn't care. That's bad nipples. This movie is terrible. I wasted 2 hours of my life watching this film. And if you want to waste money, be my guest. But I'm not a paid critic, so I can keep it real. I'm not a shill. This is the thing. The Flash movie, I thought it was going to be a top tier DC movie of the year, dropping in the summer and going to be a blockbuster. No ma'am, no sir. Straight hot doo-doo, hot poo-poo, hot mega juice in the summer at the bottom of the dumpster city barrel. Trash. Don't watch this movie. I promise you, you're going to be disappointed. You guys let me know what you think. Do you think this movie was absolutely dope? Or do you think this movie was absolutely trash? Do you believe Andy Muschietti after this movie should get direct the Batman movie? Or you think they need to let him go? You guys let me know what you think. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell, because every time you hit that notification bell, it makes your boy Beta J feel oh so good and oh so swell. And I'm out of here. Ninja Betty. And watch these videos coming up.